This is Trekzone's Talkin Science.
Welcome to Talkin Science, on location at the Whalers Way Orbital Launch Complex in South Australia, Southern Ocean. Just there, the VS-02 rocket, the Kestrel 1 rocket, standing ready for launch right behind me. Today, delayed launch. It's ready to go now though. Artemis Returns, a Canadian meteorite from the Oort cloud, meet the Peekaboo galaxy, and scientists have achieved nuclear fusion. Let's get into this week's headlines. Southern Launch Australia have delayed the launch of the at-space Kestrel 1 rocket, their VS-02 mission, for the second time, once again due to weather. On Sunday, a press release noted that the forecast upper-level winds, which were forecast for today, the opening of the launch window, were not favourable. The first of two launches were therefore postponed until tomorrow, when those upper-level winds will slow down. VS-02, the first launch, will gather rocket launch noise data to guide the future operations here at Whalers Way. VS-03 sees 4 South Australian companies collaborate to launch a rocket and state-of-the-art payloads. It's not just at space and Southern Launch here this week. Ascension and Innovor Technologies will monitor their payload and test communication protocols as the Kestrel 1 rockets are sent on a suborbital trajectory. Altogether, this is a massive step forward for sovereign launch capabilities and the fledgling Australian space industry. And behind me, as I say, that Kestrel 1 rocket is ready to go. It's been stood up even, and it will stay like that until launch. The window opens at 9:30 a.m. tomorrow morning. Very much looking forward to that. Artemis 1 has completed its mission, splashing down in the Pacific Ocean on Monday morning, Australian time. During the mission, Orion performed 2 lunar flybys, coming within 80 miles of the surface. At its furthest distance during the mission, Orion travelled nearly 270,000 miles from our home planet, more than 1,000 times further than where the International Space Station orbits Earth, to intentionally stress systems before flying crew. During the flight test, Orion stayed in space longer than any spacecraft designed for astronauts has done without docking at a space station. And while in a distant lunar orbit, Orion surpassed the record for distance travelled by a spacecraft designed to carry humans, and that record was previously set during Apollo 13. Work now begins on analysing all of the telemetry collected ahead of Artemis 2 in the months ahead, where a crewed mission will head back to lunar orbit ahead of Artemis 3, which will carry humans to the surface. A meteorite streaked across the skies above Alberta in Canada last year, and now Australian and international researchers have pinpointed the likely origin of that huge fireball. The research team says it challenges previous theories about the formation of the solar system, with the meteorite believed to have originated in the Oort cloud, the theoretical cloud of icy objects which is predicted to orbit the Sun in the most distant regions of our solar system. The team say that the fireball was caused by a volleyball-sized rocky meteor weighing around 2 kilos, and this indicates that the ratio of rocky material to icy material in the Oort cloud is higher than previously thought. The Southern Ring Nebula is one of the first 5 cosmic objects chosen to be observed by the James Webb Space Telescope, and a team of nearly 70 researchers says that its interesting ring shape was created by at least 4 stars. Planetary nebulae are created when stars similar in mass to our Sun develop, cool down, and shed their outer layers of material which gradually expand outwards. This star then lights up all the shed material, creating a beautiful cloud of space stuff. They say the new images show 2 previously hidden stars, which combined with the other 2 stars in the nebula formed the celestial object. Tucked away in a local pocket of dark matter, a late-blooming dwarf galaxy looks like it belongs in the early universe. NASA's Hubble Space Telescope has helped confirm an example of what astronomers call an extremely metal-poor galaxy, which has very few of the chemical elements or metals that stars produce and enrich their galaxies with over time. Most intriguingly, its stars indicate that it is also one of the youngest galaxies ever detected in the local universe. Nicknamed the Peekaboo galaxy due to its surprising find, hidden behind a bright foreground star, it was first discovered by Murray Young 20 years ago. American researchers have achieved a major breakthrough, paving the way toward nuclear fusion-based energy generation, but major hurdles remain, Space.com reports. Nuclear fusion is the reaction that sees simple atomic nuclei fused into more complex ones, such as combining atoms of hydrogen into helium. Nuclear fusion takes place in the cores of stars when vast amounts of molecular dust collapse under gravity and create immense amounts of pressure and heat in the nascent star's cores. It's different to and more powerful than fission, which is the process of splitting atoms apart, a process we've been conducting here on Earth for decades. Using 192 lasers to heat a pencil eraser-sized pellet of fuel, the latest experiment produced slightly more energy than it consumed, which means that for a brief moment the reaction must have been able to sustain itself, using its own energy to fuse further hydrogen atoms instead of relying on the heat from the lasers. We are in Port Lincoln for Southern Launch Australia's operations to get at Space's two Kestrel 1 rockets on a suborbital trajectory, VS03, with Southern Launch's own payload. Additionally, the eco-test campaign is aiming to gather rocket launch noise data to inform future operations of this Whalers Way orbital launch complex. I'm incredibly thrilled to be standing here on range, with a huge thanks to Amy and the team at Southern Launch. I'll be chatting with Lloyd. Lloyd's been on the show before. I'll be chatting with him once operations settle down, and we will have our high frame rate camera rolling on the launch to capture every moment of this historic event, just a second from here at Whalers Way. With 4 South Australian companies involved in these activities, it's a great time for the Australian space industry as a whole, and right before Christmas as well. Well, Dr. Brad's here on the first Tuesday of every month to bring us a roundup of the biggest stories across the past month. And I've got your bite-sized wrap of the week the other 3 Tuesdays, just like this episode. Dr. Brad will be back from holiday next week. We'll be chatting with him about these successful launches. Thanks for watching Talkin Science. I'm Matt Bella. I'll see you in the comments.